It's day 89.
Of the 29th year and beyond.
Wow.
Yeah, it's hard to believe.
It's hard to believe.
Speeding along.
Speeding along.
Okay, so tomorrow I have to have a colonoscopy.
Yes, you do.
Yay me.
Yay you.
And before you have to have a colonoscopy, you have to cleanse your colon. So you have to drink stuff and get everything out of your colon. And I was just like, yeah. And why would you have to do that? But then you think about it, in order for them to take a good picture and look and check everything, everything needs to be cleansed out of your colon.
Okay, so where are you going with this?
So, in a marriage, sometimes...
Is that where you're going?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. You didn't see that. In a marriage and in a relationship, sometimes you need some cleansing. Sometimes you need to get the gunk out of your marriage. There are things that'll layer on top, people, situations that have happened that will layer on top of your marriage, and you just need to sort of cleanse. And sometimes you just need a time apart. Fred, for instance, sometimes needs to do some sabbaticals for himself where they're spiritual, but, they also help our marriage. Me, on the other hand, girls trip, sometimes with my sisters, my mom, whatever, we'll do it. But even inside of that, sometimes we have to just sit down and really talk about things that are going on in our marriage.
Yes. If you hold on to things that you don't need, and carry, then it makes your journey much more challenging. I remember early on in our marriage, whenever I would travel, I would pack. I would always overpack, and my thought would be, well, just in case I need this, and just in case I need that. Well, more times than not, I would wind up using somewhere between 1/3 to 2/3 of what I pack. Always overpacking. But that makes baggage heavier than it needs to be. That makes things more cumbersome than they need to be. Same thing in the marriage. When you learn to travel light, because you've been able to purge. And sometimes you have to purge things that have served you well, right? But that no longer serve you well. And I think too many times in relationships, in life general, people get acclimated to what they've always had and what they've always carried. Wisdom dictates when you no longer need something to be willing to release that something.
That's right. And in a marriage, there'll be things that will build up in your marriage, like for instance, something that happened. And you may have tried to let it go, but somehow it still lingers. And there's some people, it's infidelity. Some people, it's just not spending the right amount of time, or somebody made a purchase that the other one didn't agree with, and they're constantly looking at it. But it comes a time in your marriage where you have to sit down and talk about that, and you have to purge it out. You have to get it out of this system. You have to move it out of the way so that you can move on to the next phase of this relationship.
I think that's very wise, sound advice. It's interesting, and how often does one need to have this colon cleansing?
I don't know. You should be coming up on another one. So,
no, baby.
No, how you
Probably another 8 years.
In your dreams. But yeah. So with that said, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to mention that in a marriage and in a relationship, it's okay to sit down and talk about things that have happened in the past and how you're going to move forward. And that's sort of like with the colonoscopy and the cleansing of your system. And otherwise, you can't take a clear picture of what's going on in your relationship if you still got a whole lot of stuff that's layered on top of it. You can't see through the lens.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
Look how deep you just went.
I know.
Alrighty then.
Anything else?
I should say not, because when you started this, I was thinking, okay, TMI. But I get it now. I get it, by George.
Yes. So clean out so you can see through the lens.
Purge what is not necessary. Even though something may have served you well previously, if it's no longer serving you, and you want to be able to travel light, because at the end of the day, you want to be your healthiest in your body and in your marriage. Until tomorrow, if the Lord says the same.
Bye.